What a good theme
That
song.
music made in AI?
That music was not made in AI, in fact. I hear double of you all of a sudden. Say something.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Oh no, what's happening?
It's it's good value, you know. Twice the
Oh, you know what? Okay. Hold on. I know why these things are happening, and it's entirely my fault. um,
Well, I knew that too.
this is what I get for trying to simplify my life. Every time I open up any program, and it's like, what sort of device would you like to use for your microphone? There's like 30 options that I have to like find the exact right one on. And I was like, what if I just fucking turned all that off? Turned off all those ones that I definitely don't recognize using. And I
It's just Brandon's
guess
voice. Who needs it?
yeah, I guess that's what I did. You're gonna talk in double for a little bit, and I'm sorry. That's just the way it's gonna have to be. And
It's fine. It's an easy thing to do.
I think I know
It's
what I
not
did.
disorienting. It's not.
It's fine.
Doesn't mess with your head at all. It's fine.
They definitely didn't. I remember you told me about the Japanese developed anti-speaking gun, where they just play.
It's so simple. It's genius.
It's very genius. What they just like play your voice right back at
Yeah,
you.
it's basically a gun that like.
People can still hear you, just not through the proper.
Not even an Ian.
Oh no! Hello?
Now I hear myself
Oh my god!
and you.
What have I done? Okay, action. Okay, hold on. That's just Windows being dumb. Hello? Hello?
Ah.
Still double view. This is fun. This is exactly how I wanted.
You know, we're hundreds of episodes in.
You're so right. And, you know, gosh darn it, it's nice to have the good old days of constant, of constant, like, oh fuck, why did I do this? What's this setting? You know, for a while I thought I'd got it locked down. And then I have to go and, right. It's like if you know the end of the story and it's like, oh, it ends well, everything goes the way they wanted. That's just not how it works. No, I don't think I did. That is interesting that you don't hear yourself. You are. Here's what I think I just need to fix. I think I just need to fix the audio properties of each of the sound layers and get them the right source. Okay, no, that's correct. No, that's right. Oh boy. Oh boy. What is happening over here? I mean, you don't hear yourself anymore. That's pretty good. I mean, the chat hears you. They might hear you twice. Say something real quick. No, I guess they only hear you once. Now I think that is a perfect number, I would say, of hearing you. So now the only issue is that I hear you doubled, but that's not so distracting for me because I can deal with that. If you guys hear a double effect on Brandon, let us know. Because otherwise I think I just hear it and no one else does, and that's good. And then I think that for the rest of this to be fixed the way it should be, I would just need to restart OBS, and I'm not going to do that. We already started the show. There's no way to reboot OBS midstream. You can't do that. No, not yet. I'm sure someone has that. I'm sure Linus Tech Tips has that figured out. Just not us. Gosh. Brandon. The chat does not hear Brandon says Lotus Clock. But I see you popping up. Okay, hold on. Say something again.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Now do you hear yourself through me?
Of course I do.
Oh, great. This is going perfectly. Okay.
The chat needs to be able to hear me, or else how will they know what media I'm engaged with this week?
How will they know what media you have engaged with this week, Brandon?
They need to know.
Okay, here's what's gonna happen. An output. This has ruined all of my plans. Okay, say something.
Again, but I hear me. Oh.
Now you don't hear yourself.
I don't hear me.
Now, but does the chat hear Brandon right now? After Brandon said that sentence he just said, do you hear him?
Testing. Can the chat hear me?
Hello, chat? Can he be here?
Oh no, now we can't hear the chat. Oh no.
This is going so swell. I'm just gonna start drawing. I'm just gonna say I fixed it and hope for the best. I have heard the Brandon says Lotus Clock. We're in a fine space right here. We're just gonna roll with this, okay? I have things to fix, but that's for off the thing. Brandon.
Yeah.
What pieces of literature, media, and or other have you engaged with this week? The funnest podcast and most natural podcast question. Like, basically every podcast question boils down to that of any podcast whatsoever, not just ours, but it's never framed in quite the most, like, efficient, robotic sort of manner, I think.
We get it done, you know. We got...
Fill out the Scantron if you liked Beetlejuice.
We're very efficient.
Very efficient.
Well, now finally people can hear me, so I can tell them that I have not engaged with any media this. No,
oh my god.
Let's see. What has there been? We haven't really watched much, but we have started watching season 2 of The Jinx.
Ooh. I didn't realize there was a season 2.
I didn't either until they released season 2 of The Jinx.
When was this that they released season 2 of The Jinx?
I believe they started releasing it week by week. Season 2 of The Jinx 3 weeks ago, I think.
Holy shit. Is it also about...
out.
Is it also about Robert Durst?
It's about what happens the moment... It starts, like, the moment the other series ends.
Okay, about Robert Durst?
Tracking... Yeah, like, it's tracking how they managed to get him, following the documentary, and like he tried to run, and there's some other things, and I'm only at 2 episodes in, but
right, because when he
going over the court case, I know what happened to him and generally, but this is like all the details and all the people in his circles, in the court case, and like how, you know, his lawyers versus the prosecution and all that.
Yeah. So for the chat, because I'm sure they don't, I'm sure most of them, if not none of them, have probably watched The Jinx. It feels like a sort of niche.
Lotus Clock knows what it's about.
The Jinx,
as the Jinx, the Pokemon with blackface. Yes.
Oh yeah, that's what we're talking about. This is a whole documentary about that and what happened after it.
After it went to jail.
Yeah. But okay, so The Jinx is a documentary. It came out on HBO. Great documentary. Absolutely awful circumstances, but it's about this guy. His name is Robert Durst, and he is basically a trust fund real estate fail son, and he murders his wife and a couple of other people, and not all at once. But he also literally cut
throughout his whole life.
yeah, just along the way, he just happened to murder people when it was like convenient for him. And at one point, he actually like dismembered a whole body and like cut it up into pieces, and they found him and like could prove it was him, and he admitted to it. And but because of lawyering and I don't even know, they essentially in money, yeah, he had a lot of money. He essentially got off on it.
Yeah, so out of the 3 murders, 2 of them are cold cases that he didn't get blamed for.
But he like pretty obviously did
get blamed for, but he just lawyered his way out of it. So he, I killed that guy. And then it was self-defense, and he got away with it because of that.
Yeah.
But he straight up like cut up the body and threw it in the river and all that stuff, and still got away with it. Rich guy. The other ones are very obvious, especially after the documentary. But I don't know how much you were going to go into it.
I was just going to say that at the end of the first season, I mean, it's been long enough, I feel like I can semi-spoil it. But at the end of the first season, they essentially, like, they hot mic capture him basically, like, talking to himself in the mirror, where he says to himself...
He confesses.
He, like, kind of talks to himself in the mirror, and it basically confirms that he did all the murders and everything that they like, because they bring a bunch of evidence to him and like kind of catch him in the middle of the interview. So that's how the documentary ends. So it's a documentary. It's kind of a little bit sensationalized in a way because it's produced. It's made into a exciting story. So in real life, the documentary comes out. They basically catch Robert Durst saying, admitting to the crime, and he doesn't go to jail right away because there's still like he still has to essentially, the police have to decide, oh yes, this is evidence enough to arrest him, this, that, the other. It's still like a many years saga. Yeah. For him to actually ever end up in jail. But the Jinx does play a role in it, at least.
He gets arrested pretty quickly after the finale.
After the finale? Is that how... Because he gets arrested, but I guess he gets...
took like 2 years.
Yeah. I think that's... that.
He tried...
That's
you find in this one, I don't want to spoil everything, even though it's a true story. He makes a run for it, like, as soon as the show, like, starts airing, like, the second to last episode, and he sees how things are going.
Right.
He tries to make a run for it. They get him. And that's about where I'm at in the thing. And now they're trying to, like, build their case, because you can't just arrest somebody based on TV show.
Exactly.
Or else, everybody who made Beetlejuice would be in jail. No, but what was I gonna say? The original is called The Jinx because he pretty much had this thing made, this documentary. He encouraged it to be made because he wanted to clear his name. Basically, like hubris, even having gotten away with 3 murders, that wasn't good enough for him. So he has this documentary created. When the documentary is being made, the filmmakers discover evidence that the cops never found that pretty much confirms it. They show it to him, like, to his face on camera, and he goes in the bathroom with a hot mic, panicking, and confesses, not realizing he's still on a mic because he's just this, like, old guy who's, like, an idiot. Well, maybe not an idiot, but I don't know.
He's kind of... He's not, like, the brightest...
He's pretty good at, like, evading capture, but he's, having the whole documentary made about yourself, even though you got away with murder 3 times, is a pretty dumb move.
Yeah, it's not a smart standpoint. I mean, and he, as the documentary sort of proves, he has sort of been propped up his whole life by his just like wealth that he's born into. Like, he didn't earn the money that got him access to those lawyers and that like crack legal team.
True.
So it's not so much that he's an idiot. Maybe there is some of that, but it's also like he's just... he's like a animal that you raise in like the home, and then you let it out into the forest. You're like, okay, you're free now, and it's like 5 seconds later that animal gets eaten by whatever creature is out there. Whereas, and that's sort of the story of Mr. Robert Durst.
Lotus Clock says, so The Jinx is a documentary about a documentary. Now, part 2 kind of is. It's like what happens after the first documentary. The
Makes
first
sense.
documentary is just about all the murders he's done and gotten away with, and he's like has a big part in making it. So he's like constantly doing talking heads as they're like building this really good case against him. And ultimately, it's the reason he got arrested is because of this documentary that he wanted to be in. So it's all very like satisfying, more than some kind of true crime documentaries are.
It's true. Yeah.
End with like, and then we never knew what happened. The end.
Yeah.
This one he like straight up confesses on camera, and then it's just pretty satisfying to watch.
It's one of those rare documentary. Like every so often, a documentary is covering a topic and is covering it in such a thorough and like maybe opportune time that you get to see the events of the documentary still unfolding. It becomes like we were talking about this past thing, but now like this, it's sort of coming to a head in the present, and we just happen to have a film crew around to document it. And it becomes one of those, whereas a lot of documentaries are just like, yep, we did a documentary. It's a settled thing, and it's like, no, this story is actively evolving as the crew is, sort of talking and examining and documenting what was thought to be a past event. It's still very much, it's not a shut case or shut book, which is just a fascinating kind of and very fortunate kind of documentary to like see happen.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. They're usually not that. They usually don't play out that way. The people making it were probably like,
dude, we're going down in the fucking history books, dude.
You believe he just did that on camera? Holy shit!
I cannot believe
Thank you for making us rich. Idiot.
I just fucking threw goo at Robert Durst, admitting to his crimes on fucking camera. Oh my god. HBO's gonna.
What you dream of if you're making a like true crime documentary, and they get it, and it's great. It's great to watch. But yeah, so the sequels or whatever, it's been good so far. It's still airing, as I said, but it's interesting seeing what happened afterwards, and it's pretty interesting. Like, I only watched the second episode yesterday, but it was all about them trying to build their case and like reaching out to his like loyal circle. He has a lot of money, and he just basically like all these people are like, leeches. So they're all like keeping their mouths shut or doing whatever they need to do, even though they may know more. And then by the end of the second episode, it seems like they find somebody in his circles who's finally willing, who's like very close with him, who's finally willing to talk, and that's where the episode ended. And I'm interested to see what happens next.
Interesting.
I know ultimately what happens,
Yes.
In the grand scheme of things. I don't know the fine details, but I do know the court like conclusion, and also what happened to him after that fact. But
yes. By the way, I don't think you or anyone in the DrawBomb audience could actually hear it, but every time the name Robert Durst was said, I did drop the Fred Durst. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm glad.
Yeah, because my sound's all messed up. You would have normally heard it, but you can't.
Dang it.
I know, it's a real bummer.
You guys, you don't get to enjoy that great comedy.
Yeah, of two Dursts being linked in sound clip and name alone.
They showed just casually during the documentary, somebody mentions Fred Durst like as like a joke, like it was these like kids that they were talking to that were like being asked about it, and they were like, or I don't know, whatever they were, and then they showed a picture of Fred Durst's Instagram where he was wearing a shirt that just says "Not Robert."
Sick. Nice.
This is a funny thing to do.
It is a funny thing
Fred
to do.
Durst thing to do.
Yeah, that's like the drummer for the Red Hot Chili Peppers wearing a T-shirt that says "I'm not Will Ferrell."
Yeah. Except, if you get mistaken for Will Ferrell, that's not the worst thing in the world. If you get mistaken for murderer guy,
yes,
that's a little more.
I don't know, man. people walk up to you. They're like, "Hey, Mr. Will Ferrell, could you please do your impression of Ron Burgundy for my son?" And then the red drummer for Red Hot Chili Peppers is like, "Yeah, dude, I'm Ron Burgundy." And then the family's like, "Oh, thank you so much. Here's $50." He's like, "Hell yeah, dude!" Like, shit sucks. You know?
That's how he makes his money.
That's how he makes his money.
The drumming dried up, you know.
You know, the Red Hot Chili Peppers are not pulling in numbers like they used to.
They're not so red hot anymore. They're more like the lukewarm Chili Peppers. Am I right?
Oh, yo, this guy over here.
Folks.
He's got jokes.
Safe. No one's safe when I'm, you know, when I'm attacking. You know,
that's right.
Better look out.
Better watch out for this guy.
Alert. That's right.
Oh.
Sound the alarms.
Yeah, funny guy alert. Wee woo, wee woo. That was my soundboard. You guys could hear that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy was hoisted by his own petard. He was.
He was actually.
Like really, like the petard. Really, he's dangling way up there by his petard.
Yeah. This is like, it's like watching Walter White get brought down by his own arrogance. Except it's real, and it's a guy named Durst, and he's also a weird fucking guy and has none of the charisma.
It's also much stupider too.
Yeah.
Like he straight up did it to himself. He had gotten away with it, you know, fully, multiple times. No one was investigating him anymore, really.
He just was like, "Oh, hey, I want a documentary about me. This is great."
Like, I don't like that people think I'm a murderer, even though I am. I don't like that they think that. So let's clear the air. I'm that confident that I'll get away with this.
Yeah.
Jail. Pretty good stuff.
It's a good show.
You were the one who showed it to me, I remember.
I remember watching it with you and you being invested, and I remember being like, it starts out slow, but it's worth it. And then you stuck around with it, and getting to relive the reaction through you was very rewarding that time.
Yeah, didn't we end up like binging the whole thing?
I think we did, yeah.
Sounds right. It's good stuff.
Good stuff.
Like, you know, not that I don't think they're interesting, I think they are, but true crime documentaries, I'm kind of just like, A, they're depressing. It's just like horrible things happening to people.
Yeah.
B, there's so many of them now.
Yes.
And it's just such a thing that they just like try to churn out a million of that I'm not as interested. Also for that reason.
Yeah, and I'm also like,
it feels a little gross.
It feels very grimy.
Churning out a million of these things, and also they're kind of shittier because they're just pumping out as many of them as they can. They're like, oh, a guy killed somebody 30 years ago. I found the story. Let's make a whole thing about it.
Yeah.
So I don't care that much, but this one was really good, especially because the ending, I think, is what got me. It's just so unique.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember my ex, who she watched it with us at the time.
Yeah.
She loved true crime things, so I was around them a lot more, and some of them were just like, there was one I just remember it being awful, and it was like this Australian one, and this guy. It's basically like just a bunch of scenes reenacting real people getting murdered. And it's like,
well, didn't kill my wife, mate. I don't care.
It's like this guy who was like a hitchhiker who would just like hitchhike in people's cars and then eventually murder them, and it was just recreations. They would like use like the wounds on the body to be like, oh, this guy, he severed her spine, she couldn't walk anymore, which allowed him to finish her off. And then like they would just reenact that. And it was like so long and just so
murder porn.
It was basically murder porn. I was just like, this is awful. This is just scenes reenacting real murders that happened, and it seemed like it was just a play-by-play. And it was
Look, I'm not here to stereotype, and if there's any women in the chat who want to defend themselves, that's fine. But Morgan and many other women I know just love the murder docs. They just like get all cozy up on the couch with like a a cup of hot tea and like their phone, and then they just watch this like grotesque thing where it's like, and then he was ripped to shreds and fed to a bunch of pigs. And the pigs were thrown out of a moving truck on the highway, and then I don't know. It's just like the most like horrible stuff, and they're just like sitting there like, this is fun.
It is very strange. I do imagine
Seems
because
like more of a female thing.
Well, I do think, like, you know, who are the victims in these things often? Is it's usually women. So sometimes that's what I think, is sometimes it's a bit of research, but also sometimes it does seem like very cozy with, like, at least the way my ex watched the stuff. She was just like, ooh, this guy on YouTube who just tells a new murder every day. I will watch him. And she also watched a YouTube channel where it was like serial killer ASMR, where the premise, I've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this, where it's the premise is, you know, somebody captures you and then whispers at you their manifesto and then stabs you.
And it puts you to sleep. You know, that's the thing, the ASMR aspect.
Exactly. Or, you know, some people, for ASMR, it's a very sexual response. So, you know, you just get murdered and come. You know? One or the other.
Hopefully not in that order.
Right. Oh, this is awful. Please,
I didn't
stop
even get to enjoy myself.
So, yeah, those are things I have seen.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not that super into them.
Me neither.
I don't think they're bad. It's not the thing I seek out ever, really.
Yeah. And sometimes they feel a little icky. It just like the optics or the ethics of it.
Ethics.
Ethics. The special ethics. Special effects.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say about that show. It's interesting so far. Yeah, I don't know. Curious to see what they all do in it, because I do know kind of like at least his trajectory in real life. I already kind of know what happened, so you know, keeping it interesting is a little more difficult, I would imagine, for the filmmakers, because people who are invested probably already know what happens. But it's a lot more about like seems like the stuff that you didn't know, you know, behind the scenes stuff, while all the trial and everything was going down.
Because I mean, we would just hear headlines or read headlines that were just like, hey, Robert Doe's still alive doing stuff, and it's like, fuck that guy. And you know, you don't know what is actually happening in between those headlines. So
yeah,
it's
I
nice
kept googling it. And like it kept being like, child delayed till next year, and I'm like, damn it.
Yeah,
like somebody would talk about the show like a year and a half later, and I'd be like, oh yeah, quick Google it. Like, trial still delayed, and I'm like, fuck.
Exactly.
That's all I do. Then all of a sudden it was like, trial over, he's arrested, and I'm like, yay. And then he's like,
he died.
Oh. No.
I guess yay.
No, I don't know. I wish he would have hung in jail a little while, hung out just for a little bit.
Yeah.
You get convicted and you go straight to jail, then you pretty much you got away with it, right? What, you spent a week in jail for 3 murders?
Yeah.
You got away with it.
It's true. I don't know how I feel about that, because it is also like, I wanted them to suffer. I wanted him to stick around in the jail for a little bit.
Not suffer, but maybe a little self-reflection for him.
That's fair. That's a better way of looking at it. I know a lot of people
stuck in prison.
I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I wanted him to stay in prison and fucking have to suffer the prison and eat the shitty food. And
wanted to have to poop in a room where everybody sees you poop.
I'm like, yeah, I hate the guy too, okay, but I don't know. I like
that's
that.
Not where I'm getting at. I just
yours is much more proper, or I don't know, like ethical or humane. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I don't think self-reflection is a thing for someone like that, really. You know?
No, he's not gonna.
Bullshit.
He's not gonna self-reflect, but it would be nice to give him the chance.
I mean, the one he mainly got caught for murdering was his best friend, because she was finally gonna like tell somebody about what he did.
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything about self-reflection, then there isn't any.
That is a dude who definitely was just like, well, guess I'll murder now.
Gotta do what I gotta do.
Damn,
Sorry,
if only there was some way out of this marriage, like somehow, I don't know. Guess I gotta kill her. Guess she's gotta go.
What a guy.
Guess I gotta go practice on my dogs first. Name the one after a Tyler the Creator album.
Yeah, that's what he named him after, totally. He's a big Tyler the Creator fan.
He just loves like ever since Yonkers.
Oh boy.
Ugh. So Brandon, that's the
Ian,
media.
How you been? How you doing?
That is the media that you have engaged with this week.
That is the affirmative.
Excellent. This will go well in the report.
Watch anything?
What have
anything?
What have I done?
Done anything interesting?
Oh, I've gotten to the final boss of Bellatro on 3 separate occasions.
Like you in like one thing, you mean, or like some like bigger boss?
No, like the final, like round
like of just one of the antes or something, or one of the decks.
Yeah.
Okay, because like once you beat a deck, I think you get like a harder, like a few challenge modes, and then there's like you unlock more decks, and I think eventually it just gets like real hard.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about. I've gotten to.
You haven't won anything.
I haven't won shit. But I've gotten to the boss a couple times, but my most recent run was my best one, and I got to like 250,000 points or something. Which was just so many hands. It's so many money. I gotta get 300. I gotta get 300,000 points in 4 hands. What the fuck?
You just don't have the right. You need better. You need better.
I need better jonglers.
Deck. Better jonglers and a better deck, and you need to level up your. I don't know, a jongleur. That you gotta level up some of your hands.
I'm trying.
Ian, you're not being very Bellatro right now.
I know, I'm feeling like very much like a Bellatro.
You are a Bellatro, but a lovable one.
Oh, thank you. So that is a thing that's happened, is I've gotten to the boss thing like a couple times, just getting very close to beating him.
But you haven't.
Yeah, Lotus Clock says there's 5 different bosses. Normally, a final boss only asks you to score 100,000. Well, that I would have beaten all of them, if that was the case. But that one asks for 300,000 instead. I got it 3 times in a row. 3 final bosses in a row, and I got the 300,000 one. I'm pretty mad. Of course, there is a thing I could do where it re-rolls the boss ante. So if I get that, I could use that on the boss. And then that would be very Bellatro of me.
That'd be pretty Bellatro. Except the round that you save up and get the thing for defeating the boss, it's just going to be like an easy one.
Yeah, exactly. And then I would feel like the Bellatro.
Some other things. We played some more Played Up.
We did some Played Up last night. We had a good thing going.
What was our place? We did first off, we did a coffee place. We continued our franchise that we won the game in and lost immediately.
Yeah, pretty much right away. It was a shit show.
It was a coffee shop, fell apart. Wasn't meant to be. Then we opened up a Asian dumpling / mashed potatoes / coffee / pumpkin pie.
you know, your standard cuisine.
Yeah. We made it pretty far. We almost won that one.
We got so damn close. We just got unlucky on a roll.
We had there was a bad modifier.
There was a bad modifier.
Or like a difficult modifier.
The one that was the one that we had that made the tables.
The party size grew every time. So
yeah.
By the end of the thing, we had like a bunch of 5 tops, and there were 5 tops waiting to get in.
We should have tried upgrading the tables, because in that one it wasn't so much the queues that were the issue, it was the damn... Or was it the queue that killed us?
It was the queue.
Damn it.
It was both, right? Like...
Yeah.
Combination. But, you know, people don't give a shit about this. They're like,
hey,
what?
folks. Dude, we had such a great fake restaurant happening, you guys. We were playing that game and earning them points. And, man, woof, you should have been there. Gonna regret not having been there, folks. Gotta tell ya.
Yeah, you know, we can explain it all day, and I'm sure it sounds riveting, but you can't even imagine. You just
Dude,
can't even imagine.
So sick. Still playing Helldivers. The whole Helldiver situation has come and gone, it seems.
Yeah, for now at least, it seems like the community won this one. It's great.
It was funny to see. It was very messed up, and it was funny to see the Helldivers community very much act Helldivers. You know, it's always been like a game of like role play. There's like a bunch of role play that goes into Helldivers for some reason. I don't know how they managed to garner that, but good on them for doing it. But a lot of people role play Helldivers when they're playing Helldivers, when they're talking about Helldivers in the press releases. And so it was nice to see everyone band together and play out Helldivers again. Because did you see like some of the protest reviews were like we dive together or not at all. That became like
that's awesome.
Yeah, that became the common refrain on a lot of the protests was we dive together or not at all. And I was like, that's so fun to see everyone take the role play to this.
If I understand correctly, they made it so were required to have a PlayStation account to play the game, correct?
Yes, and there were there's 69 countries that have Nice. There's 69 countries that you're actually able to make a PlayStation account in, and so a lot of people were just like not able to play the game, at least following the rules of Sony, and you know that puts their account at risk. Yeah, these are people that spent money and bought the game, and maybe have bought battle passes and things of that nature. You know,
so they're selling the game to people who aren't allowed to play it. That's crazy.
Yeah, so Valve essentially said, hey, we're going to allow refunds. So mass refunds, mass downvotes. And I think it was definitely the Valve allowing the refunds to happen and the amount of people who did refund. I think that sort of made Sony backpedal because they were like, whoa, we have to give so much money back. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand how they could see it going any other way, right?
Well, to be fair, the gamers, they're not the most, they're not the kind to really... Look, the horse armor didn't stop anything, and the gamers would just let you know, roll them over, given enough time. No protest actually means anything for gamers, but this time around...
Well, I know, but just business practices of like selling a game that people can't play. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah. What does Sony care?
Like, they couldn't have gotten away with that. People could have. Well, I'm just saying people were going to get refunds if you make it so.
Yeah.
You can't play the game that they just sold to you. You know, it'd be a different story if it's like a 12-year-old game and they're like, sorry, it's not available anymore. Then like they could probably get away with it.
Yeah.
But it being a brand new game that is still for sale in some of these places, and it's like, oh, you can't play it. Like that's gonna get a refund for sure.
Yeah, and also Valve would have been at risk because they're the party that handles the transaction, so it makes sense that they would initiate the refund because that's the only way to keep them out of risk, essentially.
Yeah. Wild. It's a good game still.
Great game.
Sony just sucks. I don't blame the developers. There's no reason. I can't, even without even seeing any evidence for it, I have no doubts that they had nothing to do with this, because why would they even do it? There's no incentive for them.
Yeah, it makes no sense whatsoever. So glad the gamers held strong. Cool to see that. Yeah. Hopefully Sony doesn't try that shit again. People think that they'll just like incentivize getting the PlayStation account with like a cosmetic or something like that.
They could do that. I don't care.
That's fine. I don't give a shit. Let people play the game though.
Yeah. Don't take the game away. That doesn't make. That's stupid. But like, if you want to make some stupid like, here's a costume you get, then sure, go ahead.
Yeah.
At least as far as I'm concerned.
I agree. Lotus Clock in the chat says, when can I watch you play games? And also says, isn't Helldivers just another first-person shooting game?
No. To watching it, being able to watch us play games. You may not.
You may not.
No, it's not first person. It's third person. It has some first person elements if you like looked on your sites, but it's third person, and also it's actually like really, really well done. It's honestly my favorite game of the year, I think. So
far for me, yeah, it's the one I've played the most.
So fun. It's great.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It's a very like Starship Troopers inspired team. I don't know how you describe a game like this. It's like
it's definitely a cooperative
shooter.
Cooperative really. PvP objective based, or not PvP, PvE objective based sort of fun time thing. That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah. You're just doing missions with your buddies.
Which normally sucks, except that they found a way to actually make it cool.
Yeah.
So it's like this big war happening. Earth's in the middle, and there's like different threats moving in from every direction and all these planets, and there's all the players playing the game. Doesn't matter, where you're at. You're all fighting the same war. So every time you win a mission, it makes it might be like 0.01%, but regardless, it ticks towards the goal.
Yeah.
Of like winning the war. So everybody's kind of it really creates a community environment for people playing it.
Yeah, and there's no PvP, there's no plans for PvP, which I appreciate because I've always just wanted a game to stick to its guns, and I prefer PvE over PvP anyways. And the fact that there's no PvP means that there's no like competitive edge to the game. It's just people want to work together to make the things happen, and that's cool.
And it's also it's also just like some cool like lore built in. Like they kind of really almost have it like the war is ever changing in real ways. It's not like canned things. They're like, it's almost like there's like a narrative that they're like slowly like the team is like almost like a dungeon master. Like,
yeah, it feels very much like a improvised D&D thing.
So the game is always changing, new items, new enemies, new like story things in real time, and that's cool. And then finally, it says that, the game would have been successful without this, but it just kind of talks about the character of the developers. All premium currency you can just get by playing the game. So like, you never have to spend $1 if you don't want, but there is, cosmetics and weapons and things like that. You just get it by playing the game, or you can speed it up and pay for it. That's up to you.
Yeah, it's great. It's handled well. It's a lot of fun to play with your friends. I enjoy it. And, it was shitty to see this happen to a game that had such a good momentum. I'm glad that it's been sort of resolved as of right now, so soon. And, hopefully people jump right back into the game. I understand some people don't. But, I just hope it hasn't hurt this is like one of the few games where like something goes wrong with it and I'm like, oh no, I hope this doesn't affect the live service plans.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good game. And I want the best for it.
Yeah.
It's provided me a lot of fun. Some of the most like fun I've had in like multiplayer since like I don't know. The example I always use is Left 4 Dead, just because that one was like
the pinnacle.
I don't know. It was like an awakening for me. It's like how games can be in a multiplayer space.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
the amount of fun that could be had.
Haven't quite felt that same level of like teamwork and like fun and I don't know, chaos, but like in a good way.
Yeah.
Since, and it's really good. It's great.
Good stuff. Lotus says if you play an FPS, you've basically played them all, which is not wrong, but I do love a good FPS game. I love FPS games.
I agree and disagree. I don't know. I guess I more so disagree. I think, you know, like you see most of them are like carbon copy in the same way that most third-person games are like carbon copy, like Assassin's Creed RPGs now. But first-person shooter games, I don't know, like when you see someone really like puts care into it and stuff, it's a whole different thing. Like,
yeah,
the games were awesome. They're, you know, the original Doom is like kind of, you know, one of the first big FPSs, and yet the remake that came out like decades later is still one of the best ones in a long time.
It's so good.
So
it's like any genre where it's only the same if you're playing all of the mediocre, uninspired ones, but the ones that like actually make waves are usually the ones that are doing something different and bringing something new to the table.
Lotus Clock says, so if you weren't playing from day one, you've missed all the early events. Yes.
Not really, but I don't know. The events aren't super unique. It's not like you're going to see a special monster during the events. It's more just like, hey, go to this planet and play missions for a while.
I mean, there has been some of that, but it's been like a gradual thing. It's mostly been adding things to the game versus taking them away. So like,
yeah,
any special monsters are now in the game and you see them semi-often, you know. But like there was a point where like something new appeared. They didn't really, you know, they either had a story beat to go with it or they didn't announce it and then they, you know, had an explanation for it later in the story or something like that. But it's been fun because you're used to seeing the same like enemy types and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell's that thing?
Yeah.
They added something new to the game.
It is very fun.
One of the fun ones of note is they had missions. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But they had
you go for
like a thing where it was like they're having you go to these planets to create these giant pesticide things that are going to shoot out poison that will finally kill the bugs because the enemies are like big insects mostly. And you go and do it, and the whole player base spent like, I don't know, half week accomplishing this goal, and they did it. And then they were like, oh, it turns out that poison is just mutating them, and now they have wings, and now there's bugs with wings in the game. Like that kind of thing happens. Like, so it's just little like narrative things created from like the missions they give you and stuff like that. I don't know, it's done in a cool way.
Yeah. I have to wonder, like, how much do they plan on the player base actually failing the major like orders too? Because like so far, every major order except for like one has been accomplished.
Yeah.
So I have to wonder, like, when they put out a major order, like, hey, defend these planets, like, at this point, they at least have to know, oh, the players will usually come through. Which is why I think they've been throwing in those ones where it's like the players have to make a choice then, because then it becomes a different beast.
I think if it was something like super necessary, either A, they can put their foot on the scale to make it go one way or the other.
Yeah.
For the story, or B, if they like, you know, if you don't get like right now, they had us make a choice of winning over 2 planets, and depending on which one you get different weapons unlocked that weren't in the game before. But yeah. I guarantee they're not gonna go like the Minecraft route and throw away the other one. They're gonna save it for another.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
We're gonna get them both eventually.
Yeah, it's just which one are we getting sooner?
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm sure they probably take all that stuff into account one way or the other.
Yeah. Lotus says it's like the old days of turning the TV on. It's in the middle of playing a movie and you can't go back and watch the beginning. Yeah, before the dark ages, before TiVo. Bless you, TiVo.
Finally, I can see my programs.
Now I can pause with a little noise, and I love it.
Do you have a TiVo?
No, I don't.
Or did you? I meant.
Ever. Never had a TiVo.
Same.
Seems nice. My grandparents have a TiVo, so like I've seen the benefits of it. And I'm like, cool. Yeah.
Wow. Didn't know they still existed.
They still do the things they do. You can still like fast forward and pause TV and all that stuff.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Brandon, can you already tell what I'm trying to draw?
Is that a Robert Durst bomb about to be eaten by a doom what are they called? Cacodemon or whatever?
So I mean, yes to both of the things, but like they're not interlinked like you.
Hey man, death of the artist. I am deciding what is happening.
I guess that's what's happening. I am also going to. I feel like I'm taking up a lot.
Ultimately, spoiler alert to everybody, that is what happened.
Yeah, Robert Durst was eaten by a cacodemon. Yeah. And this is just how you know how much of like a wimp Robert Durst is he got killed by a melee attack from a cacodemon. Like, no one gets hurt by melee damage from a cacodemon. They always get hurt by the fire blasts from the mouth, but no one ever gets hurt by to die to the melee of the cacodemon. Just that's total scrub behavior.
Embarrassing.
I know. So rest in piss won't be missed to Robert Durst. And I guess I'll have to check out the Jinx too.
Yeah. It's on HBO again, but it's good. It's good.
It's pretty good. I can't think of any other media that I have been interacting with.
Yeah, I've been playing some Fallout 76.
That's right, you have.
It's I don't know if you want me to go down that. I don't have too much to say. It feels like they've done a decent amount with it since originally. It always to me will feel a little empty compared to like normal Fallout.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. I don't know. I've been having fun with it. I've played all the others, so it's at least like new stuff, and they've fleshed out the world quite a bit. And there's actually like I haven't explored them yet, but there's different maps now you can go to. You can go to like Atlantic City, and like they're about to drop another one somewhere.
That's fun.
So I don't know. I've been enjoying exploring it.
Cool.
I always like the setting. I just finished watching the show, so I'm like kind of was looking for that anyway. You know.
Yeah.
Wanted more. So
I do occasionally crave going back into Elder Scrolls Online. That is another game that I used to
did that one.
I sunk a fair bit of time into. It's pretty fun. I mean, it certainly feels like an Elder Scrolls game with like combat that's essentially MMO combat, but they've managed to put it behind like a Dark Soul or not Dark Souls, Elder Scrolls veneer. But it's fun.
I never tried it.
It's nice that there's no subscription fee. You can just like play it once you buy it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, their subscription fee is like a boosted membership sort of thing, where it's like, hey, if you have a subscription, you get extra inventory slots and you get a bag, but you can just play the game for no price. And I'm pretty sure
most MMOs leave me a little disappointed. I feel like the concept of an MMO, there could be one that I would love, and I just haven't found one yet. Maybe they don't exist. And so I don't know. Maybe they're not for me.
I haven't played an MMO where I'm like, this is what I feel like is an MMO. When I think of like what an MMO can do and be, none of them quite ever hit the mark, I think, you know? It's like, it feels like this sort of packed in experience that's not quite doing what an MMO could potentially do if like you really gave the concept, I don't know, its due or something. I don't know.
Do we got any MMO fans in the chat?
Yeah, I will fight you. We will put up your
You're
fucking
wrong.
dukes. Yeah.
Lotus Clock says, "Are you two working on the same picture?" We're just doodling tonight.
Yeah, we just wanted to doodle.
No one doodles anymore. You know what I'm saying? No one gets to just draw. So we're just drawing.
Just drawing, doodle. I drew a Cacodemon.
Yeah, you did. I like him. He looks like a Cacodemon in your style, which I mean, that's exactly what it is, so that makes sense. It's that way. But...
Dude, what you just described is such what I was going for, dude.
Duh. But you know what I mean. Yeah. Sometimes when, at least as an artist, I have this issue if I get too lost in the sauce trying to get a likeness or something down, like I'm like trying to get it right. It ends up not even looking like something I made anymore. It kind of loses my style.
Yeah, I end up going too close to the reference.
Or some weird like uncanny valley area in between where it's just like,
yeah,
it's not pleasing to anyone.
I have that same issue, and I think what I found is, so sometimes it helps to start trying to draw the picture before you look at the reference, and then look at the reference once you feel like you're like, time to fix this and make it look like a person who exists.
Yeah.
That I've found helps sometimes is draw the picture first and then incorporate the reference later. Which is a different way of approaching it for sure. But what's up?
I was saying something also that's helped me a lot with it over the years. I've gotten better at not doing that. Is I kind of like I tried to dissect the thing I'm drawing a little bit.
Yeah.
And look at it piece by piece. Like, how would I draw, a big eye? How would I draw, like, how would I be, you like divide it kind of like a caricature artist, I think, does. Like,
yeah.
Look at it. What's interesting about it? And then take the things that you find most interesting, as an artist.
Yeah.
Or the things you like are most interested in drawing yourself, and then like kind of make those the main features, and I think that helps.
Yeah, if you start with your focal point of the object, that's going to be the unique aspect that pertains to you. And so when you then bring in like the reference, you've already got that part that you have sort of defined in there. So you don't, you're going to be closer to hitting your natural way of interpreting that item.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fantastical monster from hell, and I'm doing two guys and a lawnmower.
This is just how you know where our minds are. Brandon's been doing the yard work.
I spent most of the day doing yard work and trying to get my lawnmower working. I think I've at least got it diagnosed now, so that's great. I think it will be running by tomorrow, but I'm just frustrated because I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and this, and then I'll have some time to myself. No.
Never works that way.
Spent almost all the time doing one thing and not doing it well enough to be done with it.
Dude, did you get mice and men, dude?
Yeah, I got miced and mend.
Dude.
I got shot in the back of the head while I was looking at rabbits.
Damn, dude, that's rough.
Yeah. By my best friend.
Nope. That's right. He promised me rabbits.
And he gave me
Also, he did murder that woman.
No.
Yeah.
Lenny murdered the woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The one who got shot in the back of the head did the murder.
Yeah, I got confused whose perspective we were talking from, but I forgot that we were talking.
This is a so the two characters have congealed and merged into one being.
That's correct. Yeah, so what happened was when George tried to shoot, what you find out in the sequel is, and it takes place right after the end of the first of Mice and Men, is George's bullet, in fact, traveled through Lenny's skull and ricocheted off the ground and then carried bits of bone fragment back into George, and they sort of formed into like an Akira monster. Like they merged together and they grew 20 times their size.
Explanation was gonna be.
And
he went to shoot Lenny and he missed and shot a big tank of nuclear waste that was which sprayed them both.
See, the reason that Lenny formed into George went with the bullet is because of the murder he did. He had extra blood on him, and you can't have extra blood. It's like a fly situation, you know. He went in the teleporter, yeah, and
you get gold bloomed.
Too much blood. So that's the sequel to Of Mice and Men. Is George and Lenny are a Akira monster from Resident Evil.
I loved the sequel. I thought it was pretty good.
It was a good sequel, yeah. A lot of people didn't like the direction it took, but I loved it.
Yeah. Also, it was written by me as a fan fiction, but
That's right. And so when George and Lenny have sex, people did find a problem with that. But look, we all know why we're reading this. We know what we came for. We know why we opened the page.
For the George and Lenny sex.
Right.
You know, they were like rabbits in
Nice.
Thanks, man. Thank you,
dude. You killed it, man. We should have you do an improv sometime. Have you ever tried it?
Oh. Yeah, I'll do one improv.
Do it.
Please.
Yes. Hello. That'll be $5 for one improv.
So here I am drawing what, you know, I wished I would have looked like today.
Was you on your lawnmower, drinking a beer?
Yeah.
Breaking the law?
I don't know where I got it from. Is it illegal to operate a motor vehicle with alcohol in your backyard?
I don't know. I actually don't know.
I don't think so. I think you can go ham.
Ham. Folks, sound off in the chat.
Yeah, am I incriminating myself right now?
How illegal is Brandon? Sound off in the chat.
Illegal. Says Brandon sure is in a farmer mood this evening. It leads me to believe that he's been playing Farming Simulator this week. No, I did not consume that media. This wasn't media at all. It was real life that I was consuming.
Damn, dude.
Against my will. I'm just forced to do it every so often.
You ever watch so much media and interact with it that you interact with life?
Ugh. No.
You were trying to touch so much grass that nature stopped you.
I didn't want to touch the grass. That's why I was trying to cut it down.
That's right. You were trying to make sure you touched as little grass as possible.
So here's something cool.
Okay.
I think this is cool. Maybe this will be very uninteresting.
Dude, that's boring as shit. Sorry, go ahead.
So dealing with yard stuff today, we have this. It's not cool that it's happened because it's annoying and it's going to be hard to get rid of. But our yard is got a lot of this one weed right now that is, I think it's called like flickweed or something like that. Have you heard of this? Do you know what this is?
I've heard the name. I couldn't tell you things about it, but I've heard the name.
So this shit, talk about high quality design. This weed, you just barely touch it and it explodes. All the seeds shoot out. Even the spots you didn't touch on the stem. It just blasts them out. Like it goes and just like blows up all over the place. And spreads the seeds, which great design. But it's pretty wild that it actually works that way.
Dude, nature fucks you up when it wants to.
I know nature, you know, when like evolution or like natural, you know, or whatever, whenever natural selection happens, some crazy shit goes down.
Oh yeah. Nothing fucks you up like nature.
I was like, for like 10 minutes, I was just like testing it because I'm like, this is wild. I've never seen this stuff before. So I was like poking it with like a stick and just watching it be like blow up.
That's insane.
I'm like, how does it know? How does it know?
It's got a Ring camera.
I guess so. It's got sensors. Alert.
Being touched.
Quadrant.
No likey. Throwing goo.
Yeah, so there you go. So that's a thing that exists.
Damn, dude. I just got a new name for my penis.
I'm watching some old school Dragon Ball Z. Nice.
Nice. But you're watching us though, right?
Yeah, turn that off.
Turn that off and look at us. I don't give a shit what Yamcha has to say. Listen to me. Man, I had something to say in between your story, but now I've forgotten it.
Oh, sorry.
Now it's gone again. No, it's okay. It was you were in the middle of your story. Something you said reminded me of the thing, and I was like,
about weird plants that do crazy shit.
I was like, I should
about yard work. Well, I'm trying to like take.
I know. I know what you're trying to do. Steps. You're trying to mess me up. No, I know you're trying to be helpful. No. I know. Man, I don't remember. It was about something. It was about a piece of media I interacted with.
Farming Simulator?
No, I didn't play that. I guess I played it for one stream, and then it was too hot on the heels of Lawnmower Simulator, and I was like, nope. And also, that game is super complicated. Farming Simulator. It feels like you definitely get thrown in
life.
Deep in, yeah.
Lotusbox says, Brandon, draw the Explode-A-Weed. I mean, I could try to draw it in an interesting way. It just looks like a thing. And then also, did you make the lawnmower's front look like a skull on purpose? No, but that's cool. I mean, yes, I did that on purpose, is what I meant to say.
Dude, that's the coolest lawnmower I've ever seen in my life.
I'm good at designing things, and I do it on purpose.
Dude, if you were able to just like shoehorn a skull or face onto like anything, dude, you'd be doing like half of FromSoft's work for them, you man. Like
Tim Burton would have me up, you know, on retainer.
That's right.
Explode-A-Weed would fit so well in the bomb verse. That's true. It's, you know,
it is the
beat over there.
Does
right. Everything explode in the bomb verse? We discussed like last week that the bomb verse is just it's on Earth or whatever. It shares a space with everything else.
Yeah. It's like in Ugly Americans, the TV show, how it's just like New York just has vampires and robots and Sasquatches and zombies, and it's like whatever. It's just like that. It's just like they always been here.
Yeah, why is this so hard for you guys? Come on.
Yeah, geez, quit being bomb racist.
Explaining it. It's very important that you guys keep track of this.
Jesus, get it together.
Can you remind me what button there is for me to like draw over a layer, like specifically we just discovered this recently.
Oh, if you change so it has like the brush properties and it's like normal stuff, recolor is the second option. You want to turn it to recolor. Recolor.
Thanks.
You're so welcome.
And it has to be what, the layer right above?
The layer on, you just color on the layer.
Oh.
I don't think there's a clipping mask type layer in this. They should add that, but
guys, it's all happening for me.
It's coming together.
Explode-A-Weed. I don't know why I haven't seen these things before.
Dude, that flickweed's flicking its goo.
It is, unfortunately. I mean, that's straight up what it's doing, right?
That is what it's doing. It's
like my baby.
Oh my god!
Blow up like crazy. Like I was just walking through the yard and I'm like, it felt like are there like bugs landing on me? And it's just these weeds blowing up as I like stepped on them occasionally.
Good old flickweed.
Pretty weird. I'm gonna cut them all down. So I'm gonna.
This will show you.
Like crazy. That's what they want. They're like, yes, touch me.
Oh yeah, baby. Don't get. Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, he almost touched me. Oh. are not very different from flickweed.
True. I die if someone touches me.
Do they die or do they just shoot out
their
pollen?
No, I guess they don't die. They just shoot out the pollen.
Which, I mean, hey, same. I'll throw goo if somebody looks at me funny.
I want somebody to like get like an up close like video of what this looks like when it blows up. Because how does it? What launches it?
Yeah, get the slow-mo bros on this. Whatever the hell that YouTube channel is.
What causes it to launch?
It is interesting that it's able to like eject him at such a force. To ejaculate so much ejaculate.
It's pretty strange.
Dude, it's so weird.
It's weird as hell, you know?
Damn.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know what the plant actually looks like, but the stems stick up out of the yard and they just got like little like things like this. And then you touch them and then the ends of all these things just explode pollen all over the place.
Huh.
And it like launches them.
Awesome.
You get pelted.
Does it hurt?
No. But
does it form a rash?
Some force. More force than you'd expect from a plant.
Huh.
Like if my head were down by the lawn, I'm sure I'd be like, because it shoots pieces at you.
Dude, that flickweed's straight up doing the Matrix lobby scene on your yard.
It is. It is.
Alright, got my little cacodine in.
Now I'm looking for slow motion flickweed. Being distracted. That's what the audience wants. They want me to research this.
That's right.
Leviathan Den says, I have 2 screens going. Oh, well, the one that has Dragon Ball Z, make sure you put DrawBomb on that one too, and turn off the Dragon Ball Z. Okay?
Yeah, you can only watch it when we're done.
No, you have to watch all our VODs after this. And
yeah.
When those are done.
And say 5 hail DrawBombs. And 1 hour DrawBomb. And then give $100 to DrawBomb Church.
Yeah, that is required. Yeah, you have to give a certain percentage.
Yeah, you gotta pay the tithe. Were we just racing to see who could come up, who could say the word first? Were you competing against me just now, Brandon? You can be honest.
Did I win?
You did.
Oh, good.
I mean, I thought of it. You just said it first.
So, I'm gonna send you a video now.
Oh boy, of the flickweed going slow-mo.
You're dying to know, you know.
I want to see this fucking plant.
I got the best moment of the video. It's straight up like they're like little. He zoomed way in, and it's like little pea pods up close, and they just like shoot like a gun. They just explode seeds. Probably talking about this thing that like so many people are familiar with, and I'm just like, whoa. And then I saw this other thing. These little yellow flowers are called dandelions. What the hell?
Dude, every day is a mystery. Or rewrite history.
You crazy.
Man, nature, you crazy. I'm taking this drawing in a different direction. DuckTales, ooh woo hoo. Every day they're out there making DuckTales.
Is that a song about the animators of DuckTales?
Yes.
Every day they're out there making DuckTales.
That's right. 9 to 5. Brandon, in the DrawBomb lore, does an elderly DrawBomb eventually explode once he hits terminal age?
Yeah, when they're babies, their wicks are very long.
Yeah.
Or they're not, which is tragic. They're born that way. You know?
It's unfortunate to know so soon.
Yeah, that's where the classic DrawBomb phrase came from. Don't look at your own wick, because like,
right.
It's information that's not healthy to have, ultimately. But yeah, when the wick burns out, it's all over. You can speed up the process if you're like, self-harming or something like that. But ultimately, it's a measurable thing. And if you have any other DrawBomb lore questions, I do have every answer to those questions.
Yeah, we are setting up a frequently asked questions for people to go to for all of the lore. So look forward to that. We take the lore very seriously. If anyone tries to do a DrawBomb fan art and they don't do it 100% accurately, we will kill them. We will send the hitman on the dark web after them. That is not a threat. That is a promise.
Yeah, it's just the way it is. I feel like it's only a threat if it's like we're not like warning you. We're just telling you what happens.
Yeah, it's not like a thing we do. It's a thing that happens, and we're just informing. DrawBomb lore is very important to me.
It's the only thing that's important to me.
I've neglected my family, my health, and my friends just to make sure that this DrawBomb lore is accurate.
Yes.
What are you working on now, Brandon?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just drawing another guy dressed similarly, standing next to the other two.
You're really on this kick today, huh?
Just having fun.
There's everything wrong with that. There's everything wrong with that, Brandon. Oh, you were starting to say something before I cut you off with my question.
First off, you've made me not want to draw this anymore. I'm pointing a mirror at myself. I have not liked what I see. And I am going to scoot this guy back to give you a little more room for your guy.
No. I'm okay with him being there. It's fine. I've already worked it into the composition.
Okay.
Don't touch it.
Lowe's clock says it's called a wick or a fuse. I guess it's a fuse, right?
Yeah, it's a fuse.
I mean, I know it's a fuse. It can be referred to as both. There is some slang amongst the DrawBomb people.
That's right.
Within the universe, but it is officially a fuse.
Yeah, a wick is a candle. Brandon, did you know that?
I did. Are there candle people in the DrawBomb universe?
That is a great question. I feel like yes. And also rope people.
Oh man, so
I feel like anybody exists in the DrawBomb world.
Anything can happen.
That's right. And also nuclear bomb people, but the DrawBombs don't like to hang out with them. No. They're very freaked out by them. Rightfully so. Not racist.
Oh, so there's all different types of bombs.
Nor is it a metaphor.
People.
That's right. It's like Zootopia, but for bombs. Brandon, I'm doing the doodling thing. It's working. It's working. Look at me go. Just like you said it would.
I knew you had it in you all along.
It's crazy how little I doodle anymore, because like I've always got something that needs to get drawn as of late.
Same. I try to force myself sometimes.
Like, I don't mind it. I like
the
having...
show also kind of gives me an opportunity to draw just for fun, you know, which I don't normally get anymore.
True. I still draw for fun.
You don't mind what?
I still enjoy the process. Like, even if it's a commission, unless it's like one that's been going on like forever, I still have a lot of fun doing the artwork, drawing.
When I divide things by draw for fun, and I don't mean that I don't have fun when I'm creating.
You don't like it anymore, Brandon? You don't like to draw no more?
I just mean that I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for the sake. There's no purpose for it besides that I'm enjoying myself. That's the only reason.
Gotcha. I'm glad that you make time for that, because that's important.
Yeah, I force myself to have fun, you know.
Dude, I gotta force myself to do a lot of things, like wake up,
go to sleep,
smile, eat, So Brandon,
because it's pretty off-putting, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm both trying to wake up and fall asleep at the same time. I'm in like this constant limbo.
I meant smiling and eating. Oh
yes, that's also not easy, but I have figured out. I've chipped away at a tooth, so I've turned it into like a slot. So I can just like.
Oh dude, you got the tooth slot? Hell yeah, bro.
You call me fucking postage mouth with how much shit fits in my slot.
Wow. Those clock says, are there sticks of dynamite people in the bombverse? The answer is yes.
Yes, absolutely.
We've actually drawn that once or twice.
Have we drawn a stick of dynamite? We have drawn a stick of dynamite person with that one like versus screen.
Yeah, exactly. So everything we do is canon.
We're consistent.
The DBU.
That's right. The DBU. And the DBZ, which stands for Debilitarized Zone.
DrawBomb Zone.
DrawBomb Zone.
What are you drawing there?
Mr. Dynamite, man.
Oh, okay, good.
What? I feel like I know that. I feel like you know what I was.
I do know what that is. Yeah. I don't know why that one sticks in my head.
It's such a good, good delivery. Quit.
Got Daily Dana in the chat saying
hello. Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. Welcome, Daily Dana. Let's give a shout out to Daily Dana. Does Nightbot still work? Somehow I doubt it. Let's give it a go. What? So, shout out. Wow. Wow. I guess we don't have Nightbot working, but hello, Daily Dana. We're shouting you out. This is a shout out. You are being shouted out.
Wow.
My sound is broken, so I can't do any soundboards. I can't do nothing. So we are shouting.
The audience has never been sadder about it.
That's right. They're so bummed. They were like, no, Ian's always so respectful and not overdoing it with the soundboard. Oh my god.
I like all these questions. Lotus Clock says, are there bomb men with an electronic detonator? You know, like in those movies where the diffuser guy has to cut the wire of the right color. Absolutely, there are.
Yeah, and there's DrawBombs where the detonator is like a cell phone, like in a lot of modern movies. And it sucks because sometimes he'll go to answer his phone and he'll just explode right there in the street. It's very tragic.
You ever do like a butt dial and then blow yourself up like a weed?
Yeah. There's a lot of reality when people in the DrawBomb universe say phone bad, book good. You know what I mean? They really... they mean it.
You know, people just are on their phones too much these days. You know, it's not like it used to be.
It's true. People are just on their cell phones too much. They're not paying attention where they're walking. They're not paying attention where they're driving. They're not paying attention when they're in the store and they accidentally grab 3 bottles of wine instead of just the one, and so then you take it home and you have to drink it because otherwise, because wine goes bad, and so you can't waste it, so you got to just drink it all, and then you wake up the next morning and you've slept with your boss, and you're like, I'm so sorry, man, I don't know how this happened, and he's like, did last night mean nothing to you? And you're like, no, I don't remember last night, and he's like, I thought what we had was something special. You're fired. Wait, where did we start with this? What happened?
You were telling me about what happened at your job.
Oh yeah, so that's why I didn't have a job for a while. No, I legitimately forgot where I started on that tangent.
We were talking about how people use their phones too much.
Oh, that's right, dude. I keep fucking killing people with my car because of my phone. It's gotta stop. This madness has to end. Maybe they should ban TikTok. Oh no, just by accident. I'm watching content on my phone.
You're watching TikToks
while I'm driving.
Little manslaughter.
That's right. I'm like, ha. Oh, what was that? Another one?
What's the noise it made when you hit somebody?
Which is not accurate.
Were you driving a lawnmower?
Yeah, exactly. So they get real chopped up bad.
Oh no. In your defense though, they should like see you coming.
That's true. I'm only driving 30 above the speed limit. It's not that crazy.
What's the lawnmower speed limit?
35.
You're going 70 miles an hour on a lawnmower? What was this, made by Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Dude, how did you know?
I think like half the episodes were about him making a lawnmower go fast, I think.
I haven't watched much of that or any of that show since the early days. I am curious just like what the general plot lines revolve around, just knowing the kind of Tim Allen has become.
Silly man. Just loves like the manly stuff in life. He also loves his family, but there are some challenges with that. And he has a TV show to run.
Sometimes he just wants to hit his family. A little bit of that
celebrity.
And he's got a son with 3 names.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt.
That's right. It's amazing that you still remember that name after all these years.
Well, I mean, that name was my name too.
I fucking hate you.
Why?
Ugh. Have I told you about Bill's latest torture of me at work?
You told me about one of them, but I would love to hear if this is a new one. I hope it's a new one.
I mean, he's just telling me awful dad jokes.
No, I didn't know about that.
Oh my god. Every second of every day. Like, he spends more time thinking of shitty jokes and puns to tell me than doing actual things sometimes. I feel like sometimes I'm like, hey, Bill, we should bleed the hydraulics on those brakes. And he's just like, where do what do you call a device made by a South American rebel? And I'll be like, what? And he'll be like, a contraption.
And then how do you respond? This is the crucial element.
Well, at first it started with, in the beginning it started with me going, huh. And then it kind of turned into me going like, huh. And then it was silence for a little bit, and now every time, and then for a while I was playing sounds of SpongeBob characters going, boo, you stink, and oh brother, this guy stinks. And then, now I just fake crying. I just cry. And sometimes I just go, ah, Bill!
What would be? How could you? I'm just trying to think of like what could be your recourse here.
I don't know. I've tried. It just needs to stop.
Seems like just interacting with this guy is just, it's just gonna result in pain.
It kind of is. What. It's look. I'm not gonna shit talk.
You guys are a real odd couple.
We really are. I'm not gonna shit talk Bill too much when he can't defend himself, but the jokes, and he knows how much I hate the jokes, and he just keeps doing it. And it's just so constant. It's just all the time.
I was at the hardware store today, and this is kind of unrelated. In fact, it's totally unrelated, but I assume it's okay.
I guess we're fucking done with me then.
We don't have to be.
No, it's okay. What's your story?
There was a guy at the check lane next to me, and I didn't even see what he was buying, but he brought up the fact. I overheard him saying, "Yeah, we're doing it right." I came up at
Excuse me, I'm so
cashier, sorry. And she was doing the very she's doing customer service where you talk to a person.
Yeah.
You're just trying to do your job. She didn't seem overly interested, but she was pretending to be in a good, nice way. And the guy's like, "Yeah, we're building a podcast." She goes,
God.
"You're building a what?" And he says, "We're building a podcast." She's like, "Oh, that's cool. Well, what's it about?" And he's like, "Oh, everything. Sports, TV, news."
Oh,
and then I was like, "That sounds great." And then I also was like, "That's DrawBomb."
That is DrawBomb.
Well, there's a difference though. I made this forced me to reflect a little bit.
Oh God, are we gonna have to stop the show? Is this the last episode?
No. The difference, you see, is a podcast it's audio and it's already recorded. You're just listening, so it should be interesting, right? Or else, what are you doing?
Right, you gotta plan an episode out.
This is a community. I see value in what we do for when it's live, but I also wouldn't expect any of you to go really necessarily watch this after the fact. Maybe you will too, and that's cool.
This is live, so we don't have to try.
Well, not that, but there's back and forth. We're talking with the chat, we're all hanging out together.
We're creating an atmosphere of communal arting.
So that's, so
and
basically
also,
I just had to justify why I was making fun of some random guy that didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah,
it's him who's wrong.
You did judge him pretty hard, my dude. Like, you were a judgy guy.
That podcast, I think we should all tune in because he's gonna cover a lot of things.
What if we did tune in and it was actually like fire?
That'd be great. I don't want anybody to fail. I just saw some pitfalls, some obvious pitfalls in front of me, and so it made me laugh. But no, I hope he has the best podcast.
Me too. So when he says he was building a podcast, like what all did he have? Was he like putting together a set? Was he like just getting microphones and like snacks?
I should have looked at what he was purchasing. I didn't do that. I was buying my own item and listening, eavesdropping. Couldn't see what he had.
And judging.
He's building a podcast, and it's about I was judging, and that takes up a lot of my focus. I didn't have time to take any information in because I was just busy judging a complete stranger,
Yeah. Well, I wish him the best. Maybe he's really got an interesting point of view.
This is my way of telling you that
we're ending the show.
In the parking lot. I am going to be his co-host, and I don't have time for the show anymore because I'm making a new show.
Damn it! This always happens. This is what happened to the last 3 DrawBombs.
They always dissolve when they meet somebody at a hardware store.
That's right. So I have to assume he was at a hardware store. He was building a pot, like he's building a set.
I would hope so, because he used that term.
Which gives us...
That he actually was building something.
Gives him a leg up.
Saying it that way.
If he has an actual set there, like, that's like... I feel like that helps a podcast. Like, if you're going to have a video portion to it, like, having a cool set, kind of sick.
It's pretty sick. I wish we had a set and
me too.
You know, near each other. Then, gosh, the quality of this would just go through the roof.
It would.
Finally be good.
If DrawBomb, like our endeavors in DrawBomb, supported us and allowed us to make moves, man, the production value on this would be fucking so sick, you guys. So just give us more money. Exactly. And like each of you, pony up. Like, check your pockets, dump them out. I don't care what you got in there.
Ian and I are gonna grab your legs and flip you upside down.
Yeah.
Jostle you a little bit.
Don't be frightened if I hit you. Just to make sure that you remember where all your money is. I am 6 foot.
Okay. Well, we'll try to hold you by your legs. Ian, you'll have a better time. I'm a little bit shorter, so you might kind of be like dragging on the ground on one half, but I'll do my best to hold you up.
I appreciate that. I just found out my measurements for my height recently because I had to check for the tuxedo, and I'm 6 foot, pretty much 6 foot even.
Same as it ever was?
What?
Like, is that new, or I'm sure you knew your height at one point.
I just feel like it's always hovered around 6 foot, 6'1". It's kind of been like one or the other. So
I was curious, like, are you getting taller, are you getting shorter, or is it the same? That's why.
It's about the same as far as I can. Maybe I'm getting shorter just a little bit, because, you know, I could have been mistaken for 6'1", but... Or maybe we measured wrong. I don't know. I don't know.
Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. You know what I'm doing there?
That's what I was trying to figure out, what you were, like, what...
That's the reason I brought it around. I'm like, wait, did he not know? There's a song from the 80s that at one point in the chorus it just goes, "Same as it ever was, same as it ever was." Over. I
was trying to remember, like,
the name of that song.
I was trying to remember why that phrase was like sticking in my brain. You know,
it is "Once in a Lifetime" by the Talking Heads.
Oh, okay. Is that the end of the days go?
You would know it if you heard it. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Not only would you know it, you do know it.
I kind of love that song, actually. I think it's a great song.
That's what I'm saying. It's a good song. You know.
That's a good song.
It's good now. It used to be good.
Same as it ever was. Look at us. Look at us.
A couple of
fellas hooting and hollering and hootenanny and.
So right now in my town that I live in, there is the annual Tulip Festival, also known as Tulip Time.
Ooh.
I live in Holland, Michigan. They're really leaning in. They're really leaning into the whole Holland thing, and it's a pretty big event. Like, people tend to. I've never been one to care, but people. I mean, even before I lived in this town, but people travel from a ways to see it. But because weather's unpredictable, this year all the tulips bloomed early, and they're kind of like fizzling out now. Like, and the thing just started like a day or two ago, so all the tulips are kind of like.
That's unfortunate for the town.
Yeah, I mean the festival's still popping off, but it's just like I saw a few posts on social media where people are like, "We came all the way from blah blah blah, and the tulips are like wilting," and it's like, well, it's plants and weather.
We can't tell the plants when to do their shit.
We tried. They won't listen.
They're very uncooperative.
So that's kind of funny to me, that response. I could see being like, "Oh man, bummer," but like to actually be like mad at somebody.
Yeah, for the thing they can't control. It is people. Well, people are idiots. It's like when we were doing rafting trip. When I was doing rafting, people would get on the like buses for the rafting trip, and we would like get on the river, and the people would be like, "So when we finish, we're gonna be right back here, and the buses will just like wait here." And we're like, "Do you think a river goes in a fucking circle?" There's like a lot of people who just think like those like lazy river things in like amusement parks that just go in a circle and you're back where you started are just like how life works. And it's like, and like I try not to make them feel dumb, but it's like one of the dumbest things you can ask in all honesty. Like it's
pretty dumb.
It's a pretty dumb thing. And if anyone in the chat would have asked that, we're not making fun of you, but
we will ban you.
We will ban you. And yeah, and that's just not the only instance of that. It's just a lot of people are just.
I'm trying to.
Just don't understand.
The answer's gotta be no, but I'm trying to think of like how it would be like a Jacob's ladder thing. It would be impossible, but I was trying to think of like even like man-made if you could make a river flow in a circle. I don't think it's possible, right? Because all the water would have to stop somewhere.
Yeah, I mean,
going down to like get the river to.
Yeah, the river would have to, because like
with the topography.
Yeah, I don't think you could do it for reasons.
I don't think so.
Because plus erosion would eventually, over time,
it would change.
Yeah.
Unless it's just like fully like a lazy river, but that's not even that's not what I'm asking.
Yeah. I am curious what the logistics of a like fully natural circular river would be. I'm curious how like that would work out, but it's never how it has worked out. So that's just not how it
rivers don't work that way.
Rivers don't work that way when they were formed. You could probably engineer one to be that way, and I don't know how it would. I feel like the water would get fucked up somehow and like dirty, especially dirty. But you know how rivers formed. It's not how
they have to have like one of those weird like almost like those illusions where like the stairs are going up, but then they keep like meeting the bottom of the stairs type things.
Yeah, exactly. A Mobius strip of a river.
That's it. That's the thing. I said Jacob's ladder, but I don't think that's right.
I think that is a thing, though. I'm not sure what a Jacob's ladder is, in all honesty.
I think it's a movie with Tim.
It is a movie. We definitely watched it.
But like, if you run water over the DVD, I think it will like.
Oh yeah, no, that's how you get to the special features.
I think a Jacob's ladder is kind of like an infinite ladder.
Something like that.
Sometimes little pieces of the way I've seen it like as a toy is like
those little wood pieces.
It's like ribbon, and they like somehow flip both ways.
And they go clack 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 clack. Yeah.
This Tim Robbins. It turns out it was like in his head.
Yeah.
At the end.
And he was just dead the whole time.
Yeah, it's just one of those like, oh, this is all just a moment that happened in your head as the lights were turning out.
Which is
a popular storytelling device.
That is. I mean, that's the.
Lame.
Yeah, vastly underwhelming.
Maybe that'd be clever one time.
It works in Silent Hill because it's the bad ending. Like if you just like fuck up everything.
What? He was dead the whole time?
If you fuck up in Silent Hill and you get the worst ending, and you do like nothing of substance for the world of Silent Hill, that's like your bad ending. Is you just like find out, oh, this was all James crashed his car, and this was all just like flickering through his brain in his final moments. His brain was DMTing him.
It's like, hey, you want to get high one last time?
Dude, check it out.
It just shows you a Joe Rogan podcast.
Exactly.
DMT it. When your brain puts DMT out.
Yeah. Brandon.
Yes, Ian?
Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Do I? Do I? I don't think. Besides the usual stuff, I mean, we have some. No, I don't.
Okay.
Clear schedule.
Yeah.
My lawnmower. It should be running tomorrow, so everybody should be excited for that. If you want to see it running, be there tomorrow. I'm gonna mow lawn. Some weeds are gonna be blowing up. It's gonna be crazy.
Dude,
be
sick.
there if you want to see some cool shit.
Hell yeah, dude. Yep. Brandon,
do you have anything you would like to plug?
Once again, I'm going to plug Ian Abramson's new comedy special, The Heist. It's funny. I liked it. We are working with Ian on a project as we speak. That's what I'm going to plug also, is that project coming out soon.
So excited to see it.
Me too, man. Fucking shit. And we're just happy to be working on it with him. We're happy to be working with him. We're happy for him for the comedy special coming out. Patton Oswalt gave it a glowing review. It's very cool stuff. Check it out. Why don't you? For the love of Christ, jeez, do I have to twist your arm? I also wanted to plug a YouTube animation channel, but I don't know one to do that for right now. Check out Metroid Hunter. Just a shout out to a random YouTube channel that does animation, because
I like that.
Support the arts. Yeah. So check out Metroid Hunter. I've got, first of all, before we officially formally go, I am going to play that video you probably sent me of the. Oh, you didn't.
Okay. I timed it right to the moment when, you don't have to play on the stream unless the people want to know.
I do want to show the people. Uh-oh. Hold on one sec.
Oh no.
Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Hold your phones.
People need to stop holding their phones, That's not what I'm saying. Too many people holding their phones.
Alright guys, we're gonna watch the Flickweed.
A portion of this video is sponsored by Google. More one action thing. Because I want you to.
Do you have a timestamp?
First of all.
I thought it's that.
With a wide-angle lens.
The most viewed part, right at 440.
420. Ha ha ha, dude. All right, let's get to 440. Okay, here we go. I see it.
Kind of underwhelming, but also.
Oh, that's interesting. It has like a little flap, like a skin.
But just touching it causes it to be like black.
That's interesting.
Part that blows.
It's a cool mechanism for flicking the seeds out. It's like it's elastic and it like peels off and. It's very cool.
I just saw in the subtitles he described it as those bracelets that used to like snap onto your wrist.
Yeah. That is a very accurate way of describing it. That's a great way of describing it. Yeah, absolutely.
All you gotta do is be a weed for a few million years, and then you get to unlock some perks. Yeah,
and then the other person I'm going to shout out is the person who I'm shouting out the animation channel is Metroid Hunter on YouTube. They're making goofy little lo-fi 3D animations. This one's every waterfall in every RPG ever.
Do you still do this? Because I do this still.
Oh yeah.
I think the pendulum has swung back enough that now games don't put it in there. Because it's hacked.
And this is just... I always check. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do, but I always check. And if you're going to have multiple waterfalls, at least one. Just one, at least.
Starting to swing, I think, the other way again now, where it's like, because nobody does it.
Oopsies, I pressed the wrong button. Oh my god, I fucked something up. I pressed the wrong buttons. Yes, it is exciting when it is exciting when they put the shit in there. Hold on.
I want the shit in there.
I want my shit in that butt.
So, put something behind the waterfall, you know?
Yeah. Put that poop in my butt. And then this is just another animation by that Metroid Hunter person, which is when your dodge stat is maxed out. Shit. The thing I knew would happen happened, and it happened right at the joke. They dodged the shotgun because they're dodge stat.
I didn't get to see that part, so now I was watching again. That's funny. I like the style. It reminds me of Final Fantasy VII, like PlayStation 1.
Yeah, it's very much. It's very much going for that. It's going for like that Quest 64 kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it. So I wanted to shout out an independent YouTube animation channel. Go check them out if you want more animations like that. There's not a lot. It's like a thing they've started recently doing, so it's cool to see them kind of
fun.
Find a niche that works for them.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Lotus
Yeah.
Leviathan Den, a Daily Dana.
Leviathan Den, Daily Dana, Lotus Clock. That's about everybody. You know, it's kind of not a packed house tonight, but we appreciate everyone who was here.
It's all right. It was more intimate. It was all the best people.
That's
all the
right.
Suckers weren't here.
When I wink at you,
No, they don't hear me saying it.
when I wink at you, that's how you know it's the real deal.
The top 3 were here.
That's right. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. We love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out. This has been a great time. Bye-bye. Brandon, what media did you interact with?